Today in the crypto space, we see the market a bit hesitant. Bitcoin right around 94,000, Ethereum right around $1,800, down approximately 2%. After a pullback, guys, we're seeing a bit of red throughout the altcoins. We have SUI coming down, AVAX, Chainlink, Ondo, Tau, and many others. However, guys, if Bitcoin does get a little bit of a bounce, we'll see a recovery in this market, and maybe we might see a move to the upside. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one project that many people are talking about, and that project is called SUI. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome on the channel. We talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunity. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with this market, because a lot of us are losing our patience, right? We need to be patient, but, you know, eventually they get exhausted. You know, our patience only lasts so long. And then we start to make silly decisions. We start to make decisions based on emotions. And generally, that is not what we should be doing when we're looking for opportunity in this space. You got to let the opportunity come to you. And this is why I have been super patient. I haven't been aggressively trading this market. This market has been in hard mode the last week or two, basically choppy within a very tight range. You know, doesn't give you an edge. It doesn't give you a trending chart. It doesn't give you an opportunity to basically trade on easy mode. And in this case, you see that Bitcoin's giving us that signal. Sideways. Ethereum and a lot of altcoins right now going sideways. Solana, BNB, you name it. Everything's pretty sideways. Now, I know today it looks a little red. I get it, but it's still within the structure. We have to understand that Bitcoin is just at range lows. Now, you know, maybe in an hour, we might be at range highs. Be up another 4%. This is the name of the game here in the last little while, guys. Bouncing between a very tight range, especially Bitcoin, and altcoins do the same thing. They're just going range bound, top to the bottom, up and down, maybe 3%, 5%, give or take, right? You see that. Now, this is the 1 hour fractal, so keep that in mind. We need to definitely zoom out. I want to talk about SUI today, guys. A lot of people worried about SUI. You know, they are having an unlock coming around the corner. We got to be prepared for that. How is that going to affect the overall price? Of course, you know, tokenomics are a very important part about how price gets affected. We'll talk about that in a second. You know, we also have a lot of altcoins coming down, like Chainlink's down 5%, AVAX down 5%, and a few others. As you can see, you scroll down, we got a few dips at horizontal bottoms, you know, looking for that support. We got Near Protocol down 5% and a few others. Just keep on going down. There's a little sales here and there. No fire sale, but small sales that you can take advantage of if you want to top up, you know, get into a quick trade to the upside. If we're still trading this range, we have Algo down almost 7%, you know, now testing the previous bottom after two rounded tops, double tops. The question is, do we make a lower low? This is what we've been looking at, guys. We need a structure that suggests some sort of move out of the range. Until we're within the range, you got to trade the range. And trading this range has been really ruthless, has been really tough. Okay, so, you know, this is the thing, you know, during these moments is where a lot of people give back a lot of their gains to the market. And we have to choose when to trade and when not to trade. And I choose not to trade right now. I choose to just keep myself level-headed and wait for the proper opportunity to get in again. Sonic down 6%, guys. Still within the range, still within the structure, but down 6%. And as you can see, there's a lot of projects that are in the same boat. You know, we have Optimism, OP, you know, coming down a little bit, not looking the greatest, but it's still down. Bit of an opportunity if you're into the L2 narrative. Could be a good one. We have CRV looking good. You know, the alternative, looking some good price action, 4%. But it's a random. It's not a lot of them. Floki is doing great out of nowhere, doing its thing, 7% to the upside. This is the thing, guys. We have to make clear and critical decisions. When is it time to get risk on? When is it a time to get risk off? Personally speaking, at this moment, it's about thinking about bullish continuation, or else we're getting a correction. How do you prepare for both case scenarios? All right, guys, let's take a look at some of these charts. I know you're here to talk about price action, so let's begin. Let's begin the analysis talking about Bitcoin. What's going on with this Bitcoin chart? Guys, Bitcoin has been hard mode for sure. And to be honest, the last day or two, especially today, this price action doesn't, find me in a good spot. It's not looking the greatest, I'll be honest. Right now, we're hoping, of course, we'll have a lot of hopium that we don't fall and break structure. We do not want to fall below about 93,000. Let's go back on those lower time frames for a second. The actual number that I'm looking to stay above is approximately 93,800, 93,000. Let's be more accurate, maybe 500, 600, something right around this level. I do not want to close a daily, a 4-hour, or even a daily. We're going to close the 4-hour in about 33 minutes, which is good, but I definitely don't want to close a daily candle like this. Okay, guys, if it does, it's not looking the greatest. We need to close the daily candle above $93,700. A minimum, and that's bare minimum. Now, ultimately, if that's the case, it's likely we go back to the top of the range until proven otherwise. Guys, we're range bound. Unfortunate, but it's true. The daily's not giving you much of an edge. I do see volatility rolling over. Not a good look. I see momentum dipping down a little bit, reacquainting itself with the yellow line, which is the average of the momentum. Happens in the past, and then what happens after that. Maybe we get fully reset, momentum, volatility gets fully reset, and then all of a sudden we see momentum to the upside, follow through to the upside upon a bullish response. If this happens, guys, I'm expecting a bit of a dip, and we will be piling in. Okay, that's when we're going to get really aggressive on this dip, because if we get overbought eventually, I want to be full on. Now, it doesn't mean that we have to do this. We could stay up here for a good while. Guys, that's the reality. We could. Now, we haven't really gotten bullish conditions in the past, but if you compare the bearish scenario, where we do stay down here for a little bit in bearish cases, guys, that's the reality. We stay more bearish to the bearish scenario when we're in bearish conditions. We stay more bullish in the bullish scenarios when we're in bullish conditions. And right now, we're kind of in a bullish condition, given the fact that we got our first impulsive move to the upside. Could we be just flagging out here for a quick exchange of hands and then continue? This is what bull flags are. No, bull flags are not major retracements. They're not, full-on 786, 886 retracements. We're lucky if we come down to the 0.382 Fibonacci. And the reality is that we're in a healthy breather state at the current moment, holding steady with very indecisive price action. So we got to be critical, but at the same time, be understanding of what the candles are telling us. And they're telling us really nothing much. Just hold on tight, because you never know what could happen here. Continuation bias is definitely there. So this is what I'm doing here, guys. I'm just expecting continuation, but at the same time, be very defensive on my gains and defensive on my positions, but at the same time, not exiting completely, because I want to have that exposure. Just in case we continue to the upside. On the next impulsive move, guys, I will be de-risking, of course, but right now is not the time to completely exit, because if we get that continuation, 100K, very possible, very psychological level, 98, very possible, a very good level based on supply and demand to expect a bit of reaction. But I'm expecting about 100, 102,000 to be a bit of resistance if we do break out with some strength to the upside. Okay, so that's Bitcoin, guys. Obviously, tonight we'll talk about Bitcoin dominance, Ethereum, and all those little, metrics that we could talk about. We'll talk about the news and so on. But before we go on further, guys, I want to talk about what's going on with SUI. And we're going to talk about SUI in a second. Let me just quickly get that chart up. What's going on with SUI, because SUI is gonna have an unlock coming around the corner. Many people are yapping about it, and obviously a little bit worried and confused. What do we do here? SUI has been performing very, very well. It's not just SUI, it's its entire ecosystem. Its DeFi has been doing amazing. Now, if we start looking at what's really happening with the news, it's literally on May 1st, 74 million SUI tokens, about 2.2%, 2.3, 2.28% of the supply unlocks. Okay, it sounds like a lot, but it's not that much. But these unlocks, and here this post says it's a big unlock. Okay, it's all relative. At the end of the day, 260 million unlock, right? I don't know, guys, but reality is unlocks definitely provide so a massive. What does this mean? 24 million SUIs. Oh yeah, $260 million. the reality is that, unlocks are increase in supply. It does bring a supply over. It dilutes the price of circulating supply, the current circulating supply, which is a bit of a problem. Of course, if you're a holder, you're worried about more tokens coming in because it can dilute the price. But at the end of the day, what you also have to ask yourself is this increase in price or increase in volume or token supply going to be absorbed by the market? And the only way it will be absorbed by the market is if the market is bullish on SUI. Now, the question is the market bullish on SUI? Well, we've been crazy price action in the last little while. DeFi, the L1 itself, everything has been doing good. As these tokens get released and the price dips a little bit because of the dilution, is the market going to buy them up so quick that maybe the price even goes sideways? And in bullish conditions, super bullish conditions, quick dip and then propelled to the upside. So this is very possible. But at the same time, I truly understand if you're going to get defensive on your gains, on your position, or if you're going to anticipate a bit of a corrective move or a bit of a dip in the next little while, because May 1st is around the corner, guys. Okay, just be prepared. So if we look at the chart, you can see that maybe there was already a bit of a front run happening here, a bit of sell pressure, and obviously this candle right here is not looking good. Usually this indicates a bit of a reversal, and we're definitely there. We do have support right here at about $3 for a bit of a bounce, but again, with that volume, you never know. We can come down even lower because the majority of the support is all the way at about $2.44, more or less. The biggest concern out of all of this is that we come down for a confirmation low, a higher low. And that hopefully comes down to, how low do we go? We can even come down as low as about $2.30. That's the reality. This is the point of control. This could be the support level and still maintain a higher low. So what we know is that we made a higher high based on this high. Even this one, and even this one, and even technically this one. So we did our job. We basically, tapped into all this liquidity. We took all of it, right? There we go. Now all of a sudden we come down for confirmation low, nice accumulation range. That would be nice. Maybe even a little bit lower. That would be nice. Higher low, and then we go for another higher high. In the meantime, coupled up with the fact that there's unlocks, we got to worry about this because it could be aggressive because of the unlocks. Given the signals that we're also getting out of Bitcoin that it could roll over at that volume gap below, we do have empty space also here on the SUI chart. So when we see volatility very overbought and might get into that bearish scenario where we start to see a reset, the momentum did get overbought. It could stay overbought. Let's be real, right? Look at the expansion. It's still green, beautifully green. It's overbought. But the reality is getting into fresh longs at the current moment, guys, it's risky. Very risky. Now, I also want to entertain this. Look at how we got multiple drives of divergence. 1, 2, 3. While price action is, while momentum is coming down, clearly. But we had to endure dips along the way. It's not like it went up in one shot, right? Even this one right here. So maybe this is the dip before we go for a higher high, dip, another higher high, and then eventually maybe we start expanding with some real aggression, right? And we start making a beautiful rounded bottom based on this entire rounded scenario that we're currently building, and make a nice rounded bottom, quick exchange of hands at the previous high, and then we start moving to the upside, breaking previous highs. That's ideal. That's obviously lots of hopium here, but that's the reality. If we're in a bull cycle, if we're in a bull run altcoin season, this is what we really need to mentally prepare for. So this unlock could be giving us an opportunity. The opportunity is to buy cheap SUI. At the end of the day, it's also an opportunity to say, you know what, I'm not going to exit my long-term spot positions because we could end up going sideways, but I want to make sure that I have some cash on the side to buy the dip. And that also includes, raising capital, trading, so on, whatever you got to do, but also maybe taking a bit of profits off of SUI. If you are definitely in profits, take a bit of profits and have that capital on the side, just in case we do come down for that correction. You at least have a bit of dry powder to buy the dip. If we look at the trend oscillator, it's still looking okay, guys. EMA is facing up, trend basically trending to the upside in the bullish control zone. Green histogram bars, purple expansion is showing 0 weakness. So guys, I don't know, guys. There's mixed messages. I know that, but during mixed messages, this is where the price action plays games. This is where the price action wants to shake you out. Any little wick will get absorbed again. We go up and down, similar to what's happening to Bitcoin at the current moment, guys. Bitcoin's price action is actually quite crazy at the current moment, okay? Because we don't know exactly where we're going with that. Bitcoin at the end of the day is showing us a lot of confusion, and we don't know if it's going to roll over, fill that volume gap, come down to about 88K, and then, get that bounce. Like I mentioned, look, if Bitcoin comes down to this level and falls below this horizontal support and comes down to here, it would be a beautiful confirmation low, but we did not get overbought. So if Bitcoin gets overbought, what do you think is going to happen to SUI? SUI is going to most likely continue for another run to the upside, because people anticipate that there's still opportunity to make gains in this market as long as Bitcoin is bullish. They're speculating on the next move. So, it's a combination right now. And if you feel like you're taking too much risk, sure, de-risk. But ultimately, guys, SUI did already a really good job. So if it means also taking profits and rotating into something that hasn't expanded already, that is also a very viable decision, given the fact that, there's a bit of an expansion that happened here with a lot of weakness below, with that imbalance that was left behind. Okay, guys, so obviously it's not that easy sometimes, especially with gainers like this, and especially with news events that could potentially drag the price down. And then obviously with all the bullishness that's been coming around with SUI, it's a bit mixed messages and confusing. When you're indecisive, get neutral. Get neutral, get defensive. That's all you can do, because if you're profitable, your primary job is to protect your capital, your initial investment, and to ultimately protect your gains, because that's the only way you're going to be profitable in this market. And if you have some gains to protect, congrats, protect them, because that's your job. All right, guys, so that's all I really got here for SUI. Guys, if you want to follow me on the socials, I got links in the description. Obviously, I'm going to be live tonight at 8 p.m. EST talking about crypto news and price action. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join that Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.